Cimoooooooo! What's going on, guys? It's Cimo, and today I'm bringing you a video discussing this card, Fire King Island. Now, this card's a Korean exclusive legacy support card for Fire Kings, but this card is f***ing insane. Before we go any further, let me read to you the effect of Fire King Island. It's a field spell. And the effect reads that you can only use the number 1 or number 2 effect of Fire King Island once per turn. The first effect is that you can destroy a monster either on your side of the field or in your hand to add a Fire King monster from your deck to your hand. The second effect is that if you control no monsters, you can special summon one Fire Winged Beast type monster from your hand. And the third effect is that if this card gets sent to the graveyard or gets banished from the field, you destroy all monsters you control. Let's break down each of these effects one by one. So the first effect, the ability to destroy a monster either on your field or in your hand, and then you get to search your deck for another Fire King monster to add to your hand, is absolutely ridiculous because now we have another way to search Fire King monsters out of the deck. Fire King players now have the ability to destroy a Garunix in their hand to search for another Fire King monster, and they're immediately getting the effect of Garunix starting on the next standby phase to start wiping boards. But it doesn't even stop there. The effect of Fire King Island says destroy a monster. It doesn't even specify Fire King monster, so you can destroy an Earthbound Cthulhu, whatever the f his name is, wipe the entire board, and then have a search on top of it. And because of the generation shift ruling, if you destroy a Fire King monster that's on the field and add one to your hand, you can then immediately special summon that one from your hand due to the effect of a Fire King monster being destroyed. Now on to the second effect. The second effect, if we control no monsters, allows us to special summon a Fire Winged Beast type monster from our hand. Now immediately this is going to be Garunix, but you could also choose Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys if you do decide to play that in your deck. The reason that this effect is so good is now that Garunix is never going to be dead in hand, and this goes in tandem with the first effect as well. You now have the option that if you have a Garunix in hand, you don't have to wait for Yaksha to destroy it. You can either just special summon it off your Fire King Island, or you can destroy it with the first effect, get another card, and then Garunix will just special summon himself back out during your opponent's standby phase. The other powerful part of this second effect is that it makes setting up Garunix loops incredibly easy, because all you need is one Garunix that's already cycling, and on your turn, if you can destroy that Garunix and then use the effect of Fire King Island to special summon a second one, you're going to immediately have the Garunix loop going, and that is going to be incredibly powerful. And finally, the third effect. Now the third effect a lot of people are seeing as a drawback, but it's actually something that's really powerful, and I'll explain why. So the third effect is if this card gets destroyed and either sent to the graveyard or banished from the field, then you have to destroy all monsters you control. The thing about this effect is that it might seem like a drawback, but you can actually use the effect to your advantage and protect your Fire King monsters. So for example, say Garunix might potentially be threatened by a monster with an ignition effect. Let's say like 101 or Castel. When you see your opponent summon the 101 or summon the Castel, if you can Mystical Space Typhoon the Fire King Island, you're destroying the Fire King Island. Then Fire King Island will trigger, destroying all monsters on your field, namely Garunix, and then they're not going to have a target to spin back or take with that Castel or 101 respectively. It's also really good because all of your monsters thrive off of getting destroyed by card effects. So even if Garunix does get destroyed, he's going to come back on the next standby phase and wipe the board. If Yaksha or Baron get destroyed, they each have their own respective effects. There's no downside unless you have non-Fire King monsters on the field. And don't even get me started on the synergy that this card has with Supply Squad. Like, holy shit, okay? If you have a Fire King Island and a Supply Squad, say you have any monster on your field, you destroy that monster, you get to search for another Fire King monster and then draw a card. You get to plus every single turn you activate the first effect of Fire King Island. Like, what the f? Overall, this card is f***ing ridiculous. I mean, For what it does, it pretty much fixes every single problem that the Fire King deck has. And even though it's not going to make the deck like tier 0, it's an incredibly good card. And I'm so happy to see such a good legacy support card coming out in Korea. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about Fire King Island. As you can clearly see, I'm hyped. I mean, we might not get this card for like 2 years, but I still don't care. I mean, this card is just nuts. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. We'll see you next time.